What if one of the greatest rock songs of all time was born out of desperation? Not fame. Not ego. But a band on the edge of financial ruin, clinging to one last hope. Today, we're talking about Queen legend Brian May opening up about the real story behind Bohemian Rhapsody, and how this masterpiece arrived at a moment when the band was broke, mismanaged, and unsure if they even had a future. 2025 marks 50 years since Bohemian Rhapsody ruled the charts for 9 incredible weeks back in 1975. It's the song everyone knows, the operatic chaos, the rock anthem energy, Freddie Mercury at his most fearless. But behind the scenes, things looked very different. Brian May admits that when they were working on the track for their album A Night at the Opera, Queen was in serious financial trouble. They'd been badly let down on the management side and were deeply in debt. There was no guarantee they'd recover from it. In his own words, Brian remembers the band thinking, "This is going to be a nice track for our new album, which hopefully is going to save us, because we're seriously in debt and in a very bad situation as regards management." So while Bohemian Rhapsody sounds like artistic freedom with no limits, it was also a lifeline, a gamble at a time when the UK itself was struggling through economic downturn, high inflation, and industrial unrest. The country had even been dubbed the sick man of Europe. And in the middle of all that, 4 guys in a band were trying to create something bold enough to change their lives. Roger Taylor has said they weren't obsessing over chart positions or thinking, "This will be number 1 forever." They just knew it was the most arresting, unusual song on the album, something nobody else was doing. Brian, now 78, believes part of the magic is timing. When the world feels heavy, music that dares to be different can feel like oxygen. He's talked about getting letters from fans over the years who say Queen songs helped pull them out of depression or gave them a new sense of purpose. That's the kind of impact Bohemian Rhapsody had, not just as a hit, but as a lifeline for listeners, too. And then there's the mystery. Brian has admitted that no one truly knows where Bohemian Rhapsody came from creatively. Freddie Mercury wrote it, shaped it, and pushed it into existence, but even the band can't fully explain how a song that strange, that theatrical, and that risky connected so deeply with millions of people. What they do know is this: nobody could have predicted the cultural explosion that followed. The song didn't just save the band financially, it helped cement Queen as one of the greatest rock acts of all time. For Brian, it was also the moment they finally felt accepted by the general public, not just their hardcore fans. After Freddie's tragic death in 1991 at just 45, Brian and Roger could have walked away. Instead, they kept the music alive, working with Paul Rodgers as Queen plus Paul Rodgers in the 2000s, and later finding a new chapter with Adam Lambert, whose powerful voice helped bring Queen's catalogue to a new generation. Former bassist John Deacon chose a different path, retiring from music in 1997 and stepping out of the spotlight. But his legacy is still built into every note of those classic tracks. So when you hear Bohemian Rhapsody now, whether it's blasting in a stadium, playing in a movie, or echoing through your headphones, remember this: it started as a nice track, made by a band in debt, in a country in crisis, and somehow became one of the most iconic songs in history. All from a very bad situation, and one very brave piece of music.